All right. So we're in the backstage pass. Normally we just let it roll, but this time we don't know if we're going to keep the backstage pass. Maybe we will, maybe we won't. We'll see. Joe, what'd you think of that?
I had to mute myself. Um, it brought up questions.
Right?
You know, why do we, uh, a lot of whys,
Right.
in a lot of the different areas. Like,
Right.
why do we, we say we want to heal,
Right.
but but why do we really not want to heal? Is it because
Right.
we like the attention? We we like we really like that pain, even though that we say we don't.
Right.
Um, why do we not follow through with the things that we say we want? We don't obviously we don't want them bad enough to put in the work for it. Um, I just everything that this went through just brought a lot of whys to me.
Right. So I think that we get comfortable, we get comfortable, uh, you know, that we don't see the risk in being comfortable, and we don't see the opportunity in discovering new things. We don't know what the next dimension is going to be. So we've worked so hard. Like my mom and dad both died when they were in their mid 70s and very frugal, So my dad, when he retired, my youngest sister, Kim, she's a medical doctor, and she told my mom, she said, don't let dad retire because if he does, he's going to die. And that's what happened. He retired probably at 70 and died at 75. So not immediately, but very quickly. And so I thought, how ironic that their financial uh, disciplines and wisdom and disciplines might have killed him because like he might still be alive if he had to work at Walmart and be a greeter, but he didn't have to work, and so he didn't. and then he just, you know, I don't know. Rosanna, what are your thoughts?
I think there's a lot of questions, but um, what you said about your dad. So what he did is he saved and he saved and he saved and he saved for a day, maybe, but he never spent.
Well, I think it was more like me. It's just a principle. Like when, you're frugal and you just, so we were frugal, like really frugal. Um, like I was frugal my whole life as a teenage boy.
Right,
You, not as much,
right,
you know. So now it's just a game. Like how long can I drive the car that I'm driving? I it still works. I still get from point A to point B. Doesn't impress people. People are like, huh, which is fine. And so, any other thoughts, Rosanna, you have?
so what constitutes work towards something? If you're I mean, if you want something, and what constitutes that work? What is it that drives you?
Well, our 27-year-old son, Ben, he's like, Dad, why don't you, you know, buy a, so I don't have to work. I haven't had to work probably for 5, 6 years. So 62. So probably since 56, like I wouldn't have to work. So I don't have to work. And so, but my life vision, touching every single person in the world, one person at a time, make a huge difference in every aspect of their life in a really fun and exciting way. You know, yeah, it's 8+ billion people. I got a lot of work to do. Like I got a lot of work to do. And so, um, Alan Stein, you know, knew him for 10 years as a client, as a friend, but we never met each other in person. Like, like we never met each other in person. And he went ahead and said, I'm going to go out and, to his wife, I'm going to go out and meet Mark Boersma in person. And his wife says, I think he might not have liked me so much. Surprise, surprise. But he said once, I mean, within a few months of meeting, he said, you know, he said, Mark, we were talking on a Saturday, and he says, you're one of our closest friends. It's like, okay. And so he comes out, his wife she says, I'm not going out to meet him because she's a little ticked at me because I guess I told her something she didn't want to hear. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. And so he's like, well, I'm going out anyways. Okay. So he comes out. And after 10 years, we talk like every week. We're talking on the phone. We get to know each other, whatever. Comes out and to a coffee connection, a weekend event. And at the end, we're out to breakfast. And he's like, Mark, it's just him and I. He says, Mark, I've been looking at you all wrong for all these years. And I said, okay. And I said, what does that mean? And he told me, and I didn't understand it. I didn't understand. I said, I don't understand. So when he got back to Maryland, I said, hey, could you email me and write out what you were meaning? Because I couldn't understand what you're saying. This is what he said. He said, for a long time, thought I saw Mark as a business owner trying to make a living for his family, just like the rest of us are. I thought his primary goal was the same as most people in the world, to make money so he could support himself and retire at some point to enjoy the fruits of his labor. Then I started to see that this was just a reflection where I myself was at. I started to see that as being only the superficial exterior. The deeper reality was and is something I'm completely unfamiliar with and still struggle sometimes to accept, that Mark is coming from a much different place, a place that is different from the rest of us. I do not have much access to this place. It's a place with a different conception of self, where real service to mankind is a driving force, not concerns with my own life issues. Hard to even imagine what this would mean to me if I were to attempt to live so differently. Much has to be done first, though, because before I could reach the dimension where this could be a reality, not just an imagination. See, it's not really about making more money, doubling your income, or being more successful. I started to catch a glimpse of something much, much deeper, like peering into another dimension for moments. That is what we are really being led to. And when I read that, I'm like, I had two feelings. The first feeling is like, it took you 10 years to figure this out. Like, really? How can you not know that right away? And then I thought, do my parents know it? Do my siblings know it? My wife and my kids, I think they know it, and sometimes they don't like it so much. Does that help, Rosanna, or not so much?
Yeah.
Other questions or thoughts?
Mm, no, I don't.
So, what's on your heart, mind, and soul today?
Um, it's a large combination of things.
So that's a good way to
There's,
get out of going deep, right?
that's somewhat the way other people talk to me. A lot. But there's fear, there's expectation, there's sadness, there's anticipation, there's overwhelmness. Am I doing it right? Am I not doing it right? Why am I doing it? All those
Right.
fun things.
Right.
So, yeah, there's a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
What are you
Why do
afraid
you
of?
go ahead, Joe?
What are you afraid of?
Um, um, it's hard to put into words.
I don't know if it is actually. I mean, I think it's hard for you to put into words because you don't want to be vulnerable. You don't want to be transparent. You don't want people to know what's really going on. So it's not hard for words. I mean, I could put it into words for you. It's not hard. Like it's not hard for you to find words. It's hard for you to be honest. It's hard for you to be transparent. Hard for you to be vulnerable.
Okay, you said fear, and then you said, and after that, sadness. What are you sad
Yeah.
about? What are you sad about?
Um, that am I making the wrong choice?
With
Am I going against the grain too much? Am I fighting God, or am I understanding God? I don't know. There's a
is that where the fear is coming in also?
yeah. I don't. I don't. I mean, I turn off my feelings and block them out, but they're there. It's just they're just pounding at the door.
Why do you turn off your feelings and block them out?
They're overwhelming.
Okay.
In what way?
Um, first, along, I've allowed people to do a lot of thinking for me, and I'm trying to figure out, am I stepping outside of letting other people do it because I want to do something, I want to accomplish something, or am I doing it because I'm rebelling, or am I doing it because I think I think I know something? I don't know. It's just
What
all
do you think you
messy.
know?
I think there's a part of me that thinks me doing something different, or maybe it might change my thought pattern. I don't know. It's hard.
Fascinating to me how many models I have
Hmm.
and how many books I've read and how many things I have. Um, and so, and you are the placebo. He says when people step into the river of change and the void between the old self and the new self is so uncomfortable that they immediately slip back into their old selves again. They unconsciously think this doesn't feel right. I'm uncomfortable or I don't feel so good. The moment they accept that thought or auto suggestion becomes suggestible to their own thoughts, they will unconsciously make the same old choices again that will lead to the progression of the same habitual behaviors to create the same experiences that automatically endorse the same emotions and feelings. And then they say to themselves, this feels right. But what they really mean is this feels familiar, which means we're not growing. Oh, I don't know if it was one of our kids went ahead and said to me, what if mom doesn't die in Denver in the next 10 days, 11 days? Questions, Rosanna?
Did you have an answer?
Well, I did. I said, nope, haven't crossed that bridge yet. Haven't figured that out yet. Not sure, honestly. See, when I was 40, remember that? When I felt that God
Yeah.
was going to take my life and I was going to die. So last 22 years, every day is like, it's a gift. Like, it's like, I thought I was going to die.
Yep.
So I don't think you've ever done that. So I actually think I did die.
To an old person.
Yep. Died to myself. What we're supposed to do going to church, but it doesn't seem like we die going to church. Seems like we have donuts and food and meat. Again, don't take it wrong. I'm not saying it's so funny when people get defensive. It's so funny. They're like, you're judging. No, these are observations. You judge. I don't. I make observations. I ask questions. From the observations or the questions, you judge yourself because you understand, something's not right. So, did you like if you just listen to your response? I'm going to ask you a question. You're going to have a response. I know what your response is going to be before you ever before you ever respond. I know what it's going to be. Why?
Because you know me very well.
Because you're not growing. I think my mom and my dad died because they stopped growing. And so you black out. You know, you black out. So it's like, and that's not a good thing to do. It's just not. It's not a good thing to do when you're driving. It's not a good thing in life. So you just black out. So the hard zone. Like we got a model for this. There's a model. Your husband created a model for this. Like, it's like, so he's got a model. And it's like, And so are you ready for the question?
Yeah.
Do you know what it's going to be?
No.
So I'm going to ask you a why question. You're going to go ahead and think I'm asking why, but I'm not asking why. I'm asking for the truth. Do you understand yourself? And you don't. You just don't. Which is, I don't know. It's not a judgment, it's an observation.
Okay.
All right. So, why didn't you talk to Jill this week?
Um, I could say I was busy.
Actually, you just did.
I did remember. Sometimes I forgot. I did remember last night. I left a message, but I don't know if I got the right person because I don't know. It didn't sound like I left a message for Jill. So I
Yeah,
called
that
her
happened.
like 5 o'clock last night, I think. When I got home from when we got home from the ice cream place.
So, pretty much you answered it the way I thought you would.
Okay.
Questions?
No.
See, it's like you don't grow. Why don't you grow? Why don't you change? Why are you so predictable? You're not
Probably
alone.
because all of us are the same way. We're in a spot where we're comfortable, and change is hard. Change requires work, and
Well, not changing, I think, is harder, Jill.
well, I agree, but ultimately it is harder. But in the moment, sometimes changing is uncomfortable.
Right? Right. Well, I'd say most of the time it is. And
Yeah.
so, so we have to make a choice. And what do people make a choice is they black out, and so, Angela can't even go ahead and, I mean, the sacrifices you're making and the sacrifices I'm making are substantial. And she can't even, she has so little, the poor girl has so little discipline and so little consideration of her father that she won't even listen to a 4 or 5 minute song and give me a response. How hard is that? And you can't go ahead and move her to do. You're taking 10 days away from your other children and your grandchildren and your husband and your responsibilities. You're doing all of that, and you can't even get your daughter to go ahead and, you know, have, like, your dad wrote a song, for crying out loud. Listen to it and take 4 minutes to listen to it, and then go ahead and take, you know, and then respond. What do you think about it? And you're trying to control the situation, because do you know why you don't share the other podcasts that you and she asked for? Why don't you share it before? Why don't you make that a condition of you going out?
Fear, I guess.
Fear of what?
Um, Fear of her shutting down.
Yeah, fear of her saying, "Mom, I don't want you to come out," because she's a terrorist. She just is. I know Marky, he doesn't like when I call my kids terrorists, but they are. He is too. They're emotional terrorists. They just are. Call it like it is. Like, you're afraid. you're afraid, and so you're going to be afraid that she's going to go ahead and say no, you can't come out. So you're manipulating and controlling the situation. And honestly, honey, you just suck at control. You just do. I'm just telling you the truth. Like, this is the truth in love. It really isn't love. It just is. It doesn't feel like love. Your feelings are a little goofy. They're a little off. Why? I don't know why. Because you're a woman, because you're amiable, because you were abused by your dad, because your mom abandoned you, because your kids go ahead and mistreat you and you allow them to do it. I don't know. I don't know why. I don't know why you are. And then, you get everything done in the last 10,080 minutes, but you don't talk to Jill. Why? Because you don't want to talk to her. And so you come up with all these excuses, all these reasons, just like Angela. But don't worry, you'll be able to stand up to Angela. Yeah, you'll be able to do it. I don't know. People are just strange to me.
Rosanna, are you afraid if you present some of this stuff to her and she tells you, well, then don't come, um, then she's basically controlling the situation? Because I mean, it sounds like you're going, but if you've got a fear that if you do this or you do that, she's going to react this way or that way, then you have to stay within her parameters in order for her to accept your terms or your love.
Um, I guess the thing I wanted to do is just be there when she did listen to it, because I want her to be able to me, I think she's gonna have a lot of feelings about it, and I think I would rather be there with her when she listens to it.
Because when she has all those feelings, you're definitely gonna be able to go ahead and, help her sort through those.
When she has the feelings, what are you anticipating? Because that was one of the other things that you said was anticipation. So, you said fear, sadness, anticipation, overwhelming, and whether you're doing right or wrong. So, is that part of your anticipation, or is it on something else?
The anticipation is to do something different. Is this, and I guess enjoy time with my daughter. So that's what I'm anticipating.
Yeah, have fun, create memories. Yeah, so if she dies, then you'll have good memories, and it won't be the same as Jonathan.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it is. So you're really going out there not to help your daughter, not to go ahead and change. You're just going out there to be selfish, so you have good feelings if she dies. I mean, the truth will set us free. Like, if we accept, if see, there's a delusion, there's a deception. Like, I can help her, I can do that. No, you can't. Not the way you've done it. And so, Jonathan lied to you. Why? Because you lied to your husband, you lied to yourself, you lied to your kids, you lied to everybody. You lie to everybody at church, you lie to everybody around you. You just lie. You give the impression of something that's not true, which is somebody could say, well, everybody does that. Well, does everybody? Like people wish, like you wish I would lie more to people. You wish I'd lie more to, people at church and lie more to, friends and lie more to our children, right? You wish I would lie more, right? That's you would like that, right? You try to get me to do that, right?
I suppose so.
Yeah. So it's fine. Okay, it's fine. Just verbal, like these are fears that I have. These are concerns I have. I would love for you to go ahead and listen to it and say, dang, Dad, that's a husband who's allowing his wife to go into harm's way. And what's he concerned about? He's not concerned about his wife. He's concerned about his daughter, because that's what good dads do. You know what? You're a grown woman. You die. It's a choice you've made. It's not on her, but she'll take ownership for it, and all the other kids will blame her for your death, because all the kids know you're just weak. And just do it.
Rosanna, when Mark is talking about his fear of you dying,
No, it's not a fear. It's awareness. It's not
okay,
fear. It's awareness.
okay. How does that make you feel?
Frustrated.
Why?
Because I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I don't listen. I'm not sure if I don't listen to it that it's not going to happen. And I'm like frustrated because it's like, that he doesn't.
Trying to choose her words, but she knows if I say this, Mark's got this, and if I say this, Mark's got this, and so Mark's.
Well, the mom's side of me is I empathize with you. I know we all feel like if we're there, we can help our kids, and we can be that support, and we can be that shoulder, that strength, that pillar of strength for them to stand on, and to lean up against, and whatever. The other side of me says I'm scared to death when somebody is afraid for my life, or the
Again,
lives
not
around me.
afraid. It's aware. It's an
Okay.
awareness.
Okay.
Fear is totally different. Perfect love casts out all fear. That's what the Bible says. It says perfect love casts out. There's not a fear.
Okay. Well, unaware, with an awareness, but
Right.
if somebody puts it out there and verbalizes that, it's in the universe, and that puts a fear in me.
I don't think it ought to put a fear in you. I think it ought to put an awareness in you. And it's not just me. The kids are all, Ben, our 27-year-old son, he goes ahead and says, he's talking to Angela, and he's like, Angela, Mom, I hear Mom's coming out. Yep, 10 days. It's like, what are you thinking, sis? Like, you're the black sheep of the family. Do you know if something happens to Mom, do you know what that's going to do for you? Well, I'll be driving, so they know that Roseanne is not the best driver. So they all know that. Everybody knows it. Does anybody tell her that? Does anybody work with her on it? Nope. She just, I don't know. So everybody knows that. So, but she's not. When I went and I did a 7-day trip with Angela, and so has Rosanna in the last 2 months, she's knowing this. Has she come to me and she said, has she said to me, Mark, what did you learn? What are some experiences? And so there's no way in the world, because she's never done it to any of her kids ever, do what I did to Angela when I went out there. And so, like, I'm a good dad. Like, I'm more concerned about my daughter. I mean, Rosanna's been warned, like, hey, this is what can happen. She's been warned. She's a big girl. She's a woman. She has to make a choice. She could die. She could go ahead and become paralyzed. I mean, these are not fears. These are just based on observations in the past, and how when Rosanna is not paying attention and Angela's not paying, the two of them get together, and it's just like, it's crazy. I mean, and it goes all the way back to when this has happened for over 15 years. Like, it's just crazy. So I'm concerned about a daughter who has not been nice to me, but you know what? That doesn't take away. I'm still concerned for her. So I put together a video and say, honey, if something happens to mom, that's on mom. It is not on you, sweetheart. So what would a good, like Rosanna, when I talk about this stuff, Rosanna, she's frustrated. What would a good loving wife go ahead and what would her feelings be? I didn't, of any woman in the world, Jill, I thought you might be able to come up with it, but I don't think it's possible for a woman to go ahead. Like, and it's fine. It's okay. It's just women. They're just the poor souls. The poor souls, the poor women they are so clueless.
Well, yeah, we are.
Yeah. That's the difference between you and most women. You and my mom, she was like that. I mean, she's a little more sassy than you are, but I was her son. And so I'd say, Mom, she's like, what's going on? I said, I'm frustrated. What are you with women? They're so clueless. Tell me what you say. I tell her, she's like, that's not true. She'd get all poosty, but she'd come back a day or two later and she'd say, I've been thinking about what you said and you're right about it. I'm like, right, Mom? You're 75 years old. You're about to die. How can you possibly not understand women? But Jill, she doesn't get defensive she's totally different than a woman. But what would a good, like women need to be taught how to be good women, how to be good wives. They don't know. Nobody teaches them. And their moms definitely don't teach them.
Absolutely.
So what would be a good wife, like Rosanna, when Mark says that he's concerned about you dying? Like, what is that? What do you feel? What would a good wife's response be?
What are your fears?
I don't have any fears. I only have awareness.
And what did you do to make Angela mad while you were out there?
Oh, I just did the same thing I do to you. Any woman. You just tell her something she doesn't want to hear. And I don't remember the specific things, but we're walking on the beach. And I'm like, you know what? I am so tired of this. You know what? And I just walk and go in the car. And just like, you know what? You know what, girl? You're just a goofball. I just go in the car. I mean, I don't know where we're at. I don't know what we're doing. Like, she could have gone, who knows? And she was semi-considerate of me. And she, I just walked fast and she eventually came 10, 15 minutes later. She came and she was in the car. But it's like, but she drank a lot and vaped a lot. I mean, maybe not a lot for her, but I drove the whole time. Is she going to be more concerned? Is she going to be more concerned because of Ben's conversation? See, Ben might have saved your life. You don't know it because he saved your life. You're not going to die. See, Dad's wrong. No, Dad didn't say you were going to die. That's not what I said. I never said you're going to die. I said there's risk based on the past. You and Angela have no comprehension of the past. You guys don't remember anything. You don't remember her pulling out and getting hit 70 miles an hour. A guy hits her from behind, could have killed her and you. You don't remember that. She doesn't either. Because you're just stupid women. You didn't have to come to the accident site. You didn't get the frantic phone call. We've been in an accident. You didn't talk to the police officer afterwards and him say, you know, in all my years, I've never seen this serious of an accident and somebody not die. Like, you guys are both so self-centered. You're like 3-year-old girls. Jonathan's death, all it's done is given her more leverage, more drama. Kyle's, her boyfriend's suicide just gives her more drama. There's just more drama, more trauma. So she gets more attention. You just shut it off. Here's ladies, you ladies that are listening to this. Here's some tips for you. What would a good wife? This is not a complicated question. A good wife, a caring, loving wife. If a husband says, I'm concerned you're going to die, a good wife would go ahead and not be frustrated. That's a stupid, self-centered, self-absorbed, absolute idiot of a wife. Here's what a good wife would do. A good wife would go, holy crap, 41 years. They'd have some concern and some compassion. Say, what's it like to go ahead? Like, they'd be concerned for their husband. They would be concerned for their other kids. They would be concerned for their grandkids. But
For me personally,
herself, and she concerned what could possibly go wrong when you have two selfish women that can't understand and appreciate anybody else. I mean, I read probably 10 years ago. It's fascinating. I think we had just started having grandkids, or maybe it was before that. And I read something in the Wall Street Journal about grandmothers and where they'd like to spend more time with their grandkids than their husband. And I remember thinking, how's that make a husband feel? It doesn't matter. Women don't care. You're a sperm donor. That's what you are. You don't care about the sacrifices you've made. That you raised girls that are like, do you realize I gave up for 20 years playing golf and all the other things that men like to do? Do you understand that, little girls? Do you understand that I did stuff that I hated doing? Do you understand I still do that? To go ahead and make you happy as a wife and make you happy as a daughter? When you go through a divorce because you don't listen, it's not all your fault, but you like to go ahead and trauma. But you had issues, he had issues. Neither of you listened to me and go through that. Like, I've been through, sorry, this is not a kid show. I've been through so much shit with both of you. But you just think about yourselves. That's all you think about. I mean, a good wife is going to go, huh? Like, what's it like to be a husband? And he needs to have concerns because that's what good husbands do. Angela told me, Dad, don't care about. I'm your dad, for crying out loud. Do you have no clue what a man thinks? He's wired. I don't want to have this concern for you, Rosanna. I don't want to have this concern for Angela. Sorry, you were saying something, or?
No, I'm listening.
So you both you just like little girls. What could possibly go wrong? You know, you don't go ahead and go hiking with both of you. Like she's tries to be respectful, and she was pretty good around me, in part because, she'll know, Angela, don't do that. Don't do that. That's too risky. So she was considerate of me. But when you and I are out there together, you're within a short period of being next to a cliff, 150 feet, loose rocks, and your knee could go out. Your knee goes out. You have no control when the knee goes out. Knee goes out, you slip, you fall over the cliff, you die. Do you see that? You don't. Does she see it? She doesn't. Do either? You go, both are like, you're disasters. There's data. A friend of mine, new friend of mine, he's like, Tony, he's like, talk to him on Saturday. He's like, have you thought about going out there? I'm like, yeah, but this is something her mom wants to do, and her mom and daughter want to do together. They don't think anything about the future because they're women. It's all about feelings. Like, I'm frustrated about what? Yeah, you're not compassionate, you're not caring, but your mom wasn't either. So
Something Ben said.
What's that?
Something Ben said when I said that to him. I says, he keeps telling me I'm gonna die. And that's I'm not gonna hit
see,
the
this
tree.
is the other thing. You don't know how to listen. You poor sap. You poor soul. You don't know how to listen. But you're a woman, right? So you don't have to, because your emotions just all totally overwhelm you. Like no, I don't say that. Man. Ugh.
Anyway.
Right.
Ben said back to me, Ben said, Mom, I don't think he's telling you that he thinks you're going to die. I think what he's telling you is be aware that you can die, and so be more careful. And the frustration is not just at you, the frustration's at myself, because I see where you say I'm not careful. I see that. I mean, gracious,
right. You can't walk down the stairs without, slipping and falling, could break your back. And you don't hear anything. You not only have forgotten the pain of labor, you've forgotten the pain of anything. You feel no pain. You are self-centered, self-absorbed, narcissistic. You don't care about anybody other than yourself. That's the truth, Rosanna. It just is. And so is Angela. And when you get two of those people together, it's just a mess. And so they're asking, well, what if Mom doesn't die? I've never said she was. I said there's risk factors that are substantial, because I've been with you for 41 years and I see it. And I've been with her and I see it. So what's going to happen, right? Going to come back and see I didn't die. I didn't say you were going to die. Like I said, there's risk factors. And you aren't going to go ahead and thank Ben, and neither is Angela. And none of the other kids are going to thank Ben or thank me to go ahead and say, hey, thank you, because if you hadn't warned me, maybe we would have died. So you guys, this is how it's so fascinating. Like, everybody loves to hate the driver. The driver does so many things, but they never get credit for it. I mean, when a friend of yours and mine says to me, Mark, if Rosanna dies, everybody's going to blame you. I'm like, oh, yeah. No, I get that. And he's a friend, a good friend of yours and mine, knows you, knows me, knows the kids. Dad's going to get blamed for it, which is fine. I'm used to it. It's not that, it's not unusual. It's just like, what's it going to take? What's it going to take I mean, I could use get your head out of the sand, but it's more vulgar than that for both of you. It's like the blind leading the blind. So you are governed based on fear. There is so much data that says, yes, there is great risk of you dying or being paralyzed or something. There is great risk, far more than average. And so I don't have fear. I just don't. You have fear of everything. If they're upset with you, they're going to do this, they're going to do this. You don't know how to take ownership of your own stupid choices. You just don't, honey. I'm just telling you, 41 years of marriage, you don't. I've told you that tens of thousands of times. I get Elaine into your life to try to help you to learn, but you don't. I seek to get Jill into your life because these are two women that, they're like my mom. They see their issues, they look and they grow. But you avoid Elaine and you avoid Jill. You do because you don't want to hear the truth. They could help you. They could help you to be strong with your kids. You have resources, but you don't go to the resources because they're not going to tell you what you want to hear, and you know it. But they're going to be a lot gentler than I am. That I'm confident of. And maybe you'll listen to them, but you have to talk to them. You have to make it a priority. And when you're out there, I would definitely go ahead and use both of them actively. This is what's going on. This is, I was frustrated. I saw this and I don't know how to respond to it. Be honest, for crying out loud. This is not the first time you've heard this conversation from me in 41 years of marriage.
Hey, Rosanna, I have a question. Mark just in his talking just now made a point that I don't know. This is something that I've done, but I don't know if it's something that you've ever done. But do you ever look at a situation or what's going on? Do you ever try and look at it through Mark's perspective, through his eyes?
I try to.
And what do you come up with? In this particular situation, what are you coming up? Have you looked at it from his point of view?
That he's concerned that I'm making a bad choice.
And your thoughts about that?
Mine or Rosanna's?
No, Rosanna's.
That I'm trying to figure out.
Let me ask you a question. Why do you think this is the right choice? And then why would you think that it would not be the right choice?
All of Mark's awareness makes me think that I'm doing something wrong. And all the things that
Does that okay, his awareness makes you think something's wrong. Does it make you feel fearful? Does it make you feel how does that make you feel? What is that making you aware of?
then I'm just I feel like I'm always acquiescing to everybody else's feelings, and I want to prove myself. I want to prove I can do this.
What is
I
it
just want to
that
prove that I can
what is
take
what is it that you're trying to prove?
all the years I've done with kids. I've screwed up so many times, and I just want to do something right. And nobody believes in me that I can do this.
Do you
I can
believe
work
in
with my
yourself?
daughter.
Do you believe in yourself?
That's what I'm hoping I'm doing. I don't know. I feel like I'm going against everybody, and it's causing stress. And everybody's going to be mad at me if I go, and it's going to be mad at me if I come back. They're going to be mad at me because I chose to do something different.
Right. And that's a revealing of your own heart right there.
And I'll never go ahead and see that maybe I could do something. Maybe I could make a difference in her life. Maybe I could have confidence that I'm doing something outside the grain that's screwing up.
This is the benefit of having Jill or Elaine involved. Because they can help to peel back it. So I think Jill and Elaine both understand your husband's heart infinitely more than you do.
You don't think I did well with the kids. You don't think I did well with him. You don't think I did
Let's go
well
ahead
with
and just,
Katrina.
how about if why don't you say one thing at a time, stop and think about what you're saying. Okay, I'll do it for you because you can't. You don't think I did well with the kids. Stop. Do you think you did well with the kids, Rosanna?
I tried.
Okay, let me ask you another question because that's a far better question than than you know than the question I asked. Did you try to do good with the kids, Rosanna?
Yes,
Okay. Do you think your husband thinks you tried to do good with the kids?
I don't even know.
What's that?
Maybe.
Yeah, no, you tried. You tried. Maybe that's one of the benefits of being a woman. I don't know. All you got to do is try. You don't have to produce anything. You don't have to succeed. All you got to do is try to put food on the table. And if you don't, you lose the house. A woman's going to be like, "Oh, you tried. You tried. You tried. You tried to go on a date, but you didn't succeed." So, yeah, no, it's okay for a woman to just try. But a man is different. He can't try. He has to succeed. He has to. And if he doesn't, it's his issue. You just try it. If it doesn't work, it's okay because you tried. You tried. So the question is, go back to the original question because I think that's an important question. And that
Okay.
is, did you do well with the kids?
No.
You know that. I don't have to tell you that. You create dissension even as adults. You go ahead and Ben talks to you. You talk to Angela. Angela calls Ben, and she's all ticked and won't talk to him. You create conflict in the family. You create divisions within the children. They're all angry with you, and you kind of like it that because Tim and Katrina don't treat you well, so you're going to make them pay. Like who does that? An immature woman, a woman who hasn't healed. A woman who doesn't know how to be a mom in certain areas. You did great. You did amazing in fooding, clothes, and shelter, and loves, and hugs, and kisses. So you did so many good things. You did, for sure. And what percentage is on them? You know what? They need to go ahead and grow up too. But there are some major, major, major flaws, major misses that you had as a wife. And it'd be so much easier if you saw those, acknowledge those, said that to the kids. Say, I have failed you as a mom in this area, and I am sorry, and I'm going to try to do better. And I've got some women who are there to help me, like Elaine and like Jill. Don't listen to me. Okay, whatever. Because I don't know, because obviously I can't understand what it's like to be a woman. Okay, then listen to Jill. Listen to Elaine. Because those are two women that go ahead and, you know what? Their kids don't like them. You know, what can I tell you? And their grandkids don't like them. What can I tell you? But the truth is, you know, the goofballs are the ones that don't. So they don't allow other people, by and large, they don't allow other people to go ahead and manipulate them. So you can't understand, Jill, this is what's fast. It's like Rosanna doesn't have a heart. She can't understand my heart. She just can't. Angela can't understand the heart of it. She can't. Rosanna can't. They just can't. It's just weird. I would give my life for my wife or my kids or my grandkids or a total stranger. Unless they were stupid, then I might not, you know? And so it's like she can't understand. She can't comprehend. And so this isn't that hard. It's really not. I mean, all she has to do is be nice and kind. Not stuck, not stubborn, not locked, not like I'm going to do this. All she has to do is say, all she had to do 2 months ago is say, you know, Mark, I've thought about what it'd be like to be you. And you've seen so much stuff from Angela and so much stuff from me. And you walk in and your lifeless body, because she, you know, overdose on prescription meds, which I called months before, years before. Therapist, trust the therapist, trust the meds. You mean the ones that almost killed her? Yeah. And so, you know, but you can't have compassion. Angela can't have compassion. You guys don't know how. All you know how to do is think about yourselves. So it's like all you had to do is 2 months ago say, like, I'm thinking of going, but I can't even imagine what it would be like to be you. Like, you have hard power. You could go ahead and stop me. I know that. And so, like, what are your concerns? What are your feelings? And if you go and say, well, I said that. No, you didn't. You did not. You have like impossible expectations of your husbands, of your husband and probably one of your sons. And you have no expectations of yourself and other people who travel at the same frequency you do. Just how it is. And so all you have to do is have a conversation. And then if you go ahead and said, if you had that conversation, you had empathy for me, you had consideration for me, you had consideration for your other children, you had consideration for your grandchildren, like you're trying to consider everybody. Wow. Okay.
You know what, Rosanna, I have a question. And I probably know what your answer is going to be, but I know you feel like you need to go there in person, but is there anything that can you accomplish the same thing that you're talking about going in person? Can you, with the technology that we have today, where you can talk face to face with somebody on a video call? I know it's not exactly the same, but could you accomplish the same thing?
No, she can.
It has to be in person.
It has to be in person. So our oldest daughter, Ginger Ann, she's, you know, over the years, they've called her the golden child. She's sane for the most part. But it's interesting because she said, well, Dad, maybe something good could come from this. And I thought, she's just a woman. She's just so clueless. She doesn't see the risk. She doesn't see this other stuff. She doesn't see whatever. But I did understand what she's saying. I can see there could be something life changing for Rosanna, and there could be something life changing for Angela. But neither of them listen. They just locked. They're just locked or stuck, you know? And so they had some consideration. I mean, Rosanna had some strength and said there was a trip. They're going to be going to 4 different places. So they're going to be traveling. I mean, I've been with Angela. I went on a week vacation with her, so I know what it's like. Angela will have some consideration for her mother, but she drives recklessly when she's not, on gummies or something else. And so, she's not the safest driver in the world. Will she be more safe with her mom? Hopefully. Will Rosanna be smart to go? Will she be strong enough to say, hey, I don't know. And so to accomplish what Rosanna wants to accomplish, she has to be there in person. But she doesn't listen. She doesn't follow through. She doesn't know how to prioritize. I mean, probably one of the best things she could do is have you and Elaine where you guys are on call. She could text you, you could text her. Because I don't think she'll listen to me, and I don't think Angela will. And it'd be cool to go ahead. I think it'd be cool for Rosanna to go ahead and include Angela in some of the tests. Like, be honest with your daughter. But, Angela knows how to use Jonathan's death and Kyle's death and her own mental health issues. She knows how to use leverage against Rosanna to get what she wants from Rosanna. And Rosanna doesn't know how to stand up against it. Is it hard for you to stand up against it, Mark? It absolutely is.
I would say that, you know what, when your kids are doing that, it's hard to stand up against them.
Right. It is. And when Angela says the stupid stuff that she says, and so, can either one of them give consideration to me? I mean, my reflex response is not consideration of me. My reflex response is, what about the other kids and what about your grandkids? And Rosanna's response reveals her heart. And it's just sad. It's a sad, sad heart. And Rosanna doesn't, like so many people, she doesn't like, this is so wrong. Her heart is so off. But she's like, yeah, it's not good. No, it's absolutely atrocious. So they don't, and Angela's similar. They're both so similar. So, yeah, it could be something. It could be something that would be life-changing for both of them, without question. But if neither of them listen to me or anybody else, they'll come back and they'll be more confident than ever, and they'll give, yeah, Dad was wrong. Dad's not wrong. He's not wrong. There's risk. There's just all kinds of risk. The risk, though, is you come back and say, see, I didn't die. Did you have a life-changing experience, Rosanna? Did it change your life? Did it change your relationship with your daughter forever? No, my goal was not to die. Okay, worthwhile goal. That'd be good. But that's not a very high standard, honestly.
What are you looking to accomplish when you go there? Well, first of all, are you looking to accomplish anything, or are you just going to have a good time?
I'm looking to accomplish having some one-on-one time with her that, we can talk about. She's thinking about moving and out of the country, that type of thing. And so, I don't know what to do about that. So she's, she loves children, but yet she's not going to have any. And then she has things about the girls that her sisters, she feels like her sisters don't love their children because they keep bringing more into the world. and this world's messed up. So I'm like, I don't know. I'm just trying to figure out, balance what she's saying to what is true. And I'm thinking that, me pouring some time where I just, I'm not focused on the other grandchildren, because normally either when she calls, I'm either with someone else or I'm taking care of something else. And so it's like one-on-one time where there's not a lot of interruptions.
So
Maybe I could
who do you
have
go ahead
better
and spend of all the kids? Which of the 6 kids, who do you go ahead and give the most time to in the last 3 months?
I would say Ginger Ann.
So she has 6 kids
And
and she's
Angela.
pregnant with another one.
Right.
Okay. And so you're watching the kids helping Ginger Ann in those areas because she has 6 kids and is pregnant with another one.
Yeah.
And maybe not the most supportive, spouse in the world.
Correct.
And so, okay, so maybe that might be true. But see, Angela's entitled. She thinks she loves the kids. She doesn't, she loves them, but she loves what they do to her. She doesn't love the kids for the kids. So she's mixed up. Is it the prescription meds? Is it the marijuana? Is it the alcohol? Is it the social media? Is it the people she hangs out with? She has a worldview, that's all messed up, like big time.
Angela loves what the kids, how they make her feel. She likes that feeling that she gets when she's around kids.
You're right. And what's interesting, Jill, is Angela is one of the strongest women I know in my life. She is unbelievable, but she just misuses the strength. She is very similar to you and Elaine, actually, but she misuses it. She doesn't know how to use it properly. And so here's the worldview. And this is very similar to, I think, Rosanna's worldview. So one worldview is fix me, fix my family, fix my community, fix my country, fix my world. You start out with fixing me. But Angela's worldview is fix the world's messed up. My country's messed up. So I'm going to go ahead and leave the country. You're running from your problems. This is not, or the other, well, things are meant to be exactly as they are. There's nothing I can do or should do about it. That's the third worldview, just like victim, just like I'm just going to accept it for what it is. And it's like, you're going to be unhappy. You're going to be sad. And so, how do you go ahead and help her? How do you help her see that her worldview is similar in so many ways to your worldview? There's always a reason. There's always an excuse. There's always a reason. There's always an excuse. This is not going well for you. You've got a husband that protects you and cleans up after you and, does so much. She doesn't have that husband and she won't listen to her dad. Okay. Well, then you're going to go ahead and it's going to be messy for you. It's going to be painful for you in life. So you're more concerned about the feeling you get from the kids than you are about being a good mom. Like Cheryl's sister says, good lazy moms do everything. That's what you do. You're trying to make them happy rather than doing the right thing. And I don't know, after 61 years of this, I don't know how to help you. I don't know how to help you. Minimum, you need to understand you're blind. You shouldn't be wandering around in the middle of the highway. Minimum. Minimum, you got to go ahead. But it's like you think you're strong, you think you see, you think you're capable when you're not. So minimum is be aware of your own limitations. Minimum is that. If you can't go ahead and heal, you can't be blind. You can't be unblind. You can't. If you can't see, at least know I can't see. At least know your limitations. Don't be deceived and delusional. Like you see how Jill responds to me, or Elaine responds to me, or Ginger Ann responds to me when I talk about women. They don't get defensive. They don't get upset. They don't get all poosty. They're not, Mark's not like they're intelligent women. They're bright, sharp women. Like they're not creating drama. Well, Mark's saying this about 100% of the women 100% of the time. He's not saying that at all. He's not saying men are better than women. He's not saying that at all. Like they understand they have minds that are actually logical. They actually think, which is why I adore the three of them. Because they're seeking to learn and grow. And that is the most attractive woman in the world, is a woman who's seeking to learn and grow. Questions, Rosanna?
No.
Anything else you have, Jill?
No, Rosanna, I hope that if you're going there, I hope you have a purpose. I think you do. It sounds like you think that you do. But I hope it's something that, if that's what your purpose is, I hope you can stay on track and not allow your daughter to take control, because I have a feeling that you're a nice person, and I think you stand back. And I said, I think when your kids become um that they try to take control, I think you allow them to. And instead of you saying, I'm controlling this narrative, I think you kind of just go with the flow. And if you're going there with an agenda, if you're going there with an absolute purpose in mind, I hope that you keep that in mind. Because I mean, it sounds like you've made up your mind what you're going to do. But I hope that um, you actually have something to accomplish, and that you do accomplish it, and you don't allow that focus to be taken away from you.
So what I would do is I would build on that, Rosanna, and I would put down on an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper, and I would say, here's my number one goal. Here's my number two goal. Here's my number three goal. Here's my number four goal. I would put it in a grid, and I would put 10 boxes, and I would go through and rate yourself either a check mark or a 1 to 10. How am I doing on each one of these? And I would share that. I would share that with, um, your other kids and Angela. See, Jonathan dying, that's not what sucks. What sucks is he was stupid. He didn't listen to his dad. He listened to his mom. There's always a reason. There's a reason to drink. There's a reason to game. There's a reason to do this. Always a reason. Always a reason. You always got a reason. So stuff happens. It just does. And so you could do everything right. She could do everything right. You could still die. You could just look at Shelly. She's driving down the road. Somebody runs right into her. Stuff happens. It just does. And those are hard situations when, when hard things happen. But those you get over, those you heal, those you do whatever. What's hard is when people do stupid things that hurt you deeply, and especially when you can see it, should see it, do see it. And so you need to go ahead. You need to go ahead and you take what Jill says and you build on it, and then you go ahead and tell. So my mom was careful and Angela was careful. Like something happens to you, and many of the other kids are going to automatically get angry at Angela when they probably should get angry with you. But maybe you and she didn't do. Maybe it's just stuff happens. It just does, and I can accept that. But if somebody's stupid, I don't know what to do about that. If you're a dumb squirrel and you're out in the middle of the road, should be in the middle of the road. And you and Angela have such a history and a pattern individually and together that you guys have a lot of people that are putting you under a microscope, and maybe rightfully so. So you take what Jill says, take the suggestion, and say, here's what my number one goal, number two goal, number three goal, this is what it is. And maybe you and her go through it together. Have a goal of a significant conversation. Goal is for her to listen to you. Like her not just speaking or throwing up all over you and you just taking it. Okay, she has a perspective about marriage. She has a perspective about your marriage. She has a perspective of me. She has a perspective of the world. She has a perspective of this. Fine. She gets to talk, you get to talk. If you guys don't want to talk about politics, it's fine. But if she got to talk about politics, then you talk about politics. So she doesn't just get to throw up on you and just emotionally and mentally abuse you. You get to say things, and she needs to learn to listen to her mother.
Where is she thinking about moving to?
She's looked into Finland. She's looked into Canada. She's looked into, I don't know, it's like
any of the places where they actually, care for their citizens by, giving their citizens, free health care and free everything. And you just go ahead and what she hasn't realized is yeah, there's a price that comes with all of that. And so, the thing that is frustrating to me, Jill, about Rosanna and about Angela and a number of our children is it seems to me and the world is it seems to me they make stupid decisions. Okay, that's part of life, I guess. But then they don't realize they're stupid. They don't learn. Like she moves out to Denver and that's going to go ahead and solve all her problems. Okay, that's not going to do it. It's somebody else's issue. It's always somebody else's issue. So you're not going out there to change her, Rosanna. How I see the number one thing you can do for your children and your grandchildren is for you to change. You change, you start growing. Like there was a 18-year-old girl that I saw, 19-year-old girl that I saw that I fell in love with. And I saw her potential to grow. That girl's not there. It's not there, and it's sad. It's a shame. So number one thing, I think if you change, if you choose to change and you do the hard work and make the sacrifice, and there is risk that you take, you do that, and that will go ahead. You don't need to fix any of your kids. They're all adults. You know what? They've been given so much, it's insane. And if they don't see it, I don't know what to tell you. But you change, Rosanna, and your kids will see you change.
What are you hoping for you to get out of this? For you personally?
Um, Confidence, and to be able to stand on my 2 feet and do things that people don't believe in me to do.
What does that mean? Because I'm from my perspective, I don't see you not being able to do, I don't see you being held back, being able to do whatever you want to do. So I guess I don't completely understand that.
Um, I'm not quite sure.
You know, I mean, you do not appear to me to be um a wet noodle all the time. I mean, you may give in um because of your love or your personality or whatever, but I don't think that you're just a wet noodle and get walked on all the time. So if you're trying to accomplish something um and like build strength, it's it's not apparent to me um exactly what you mean by that.
So I think, Jill, um, Angela's very similar in many ways to Rosanna. The kids are. And so Rosanna wants to prove people wrong, but her heart it's just messed up. It just is. And I don't know what to do to fix that. And so she wants to prove it's not that it's not people don't believe in Rosanna, it's that people see her husband and her children see like all number of the kids, you know, 3, 4 of the kids, they take advantage of her significantly. They hate, they can see when the other kids are taking advantage of her and they hate it, but they take advantage of her. So there's this competition to go ahead and see, it's like, and they don't see when they're taking advantage of her. And so there's so much tension between Angela and 2 of the other kids because they think Angela's taking advantage of Rosanna. And those other 2 kids will take advantage of Rosanna. And so, in a subconscious, weird, perverted, perverse way, Rosanna likes it because she's the center of attention, because people want her, but they want her for what they can get from her. And so she's done well in the pickleball. So she plays pickleball 3 or 4 times a week, and she has her own pickleball friends. And so she's developing her own friendship. She's doing all of these things. And so that's really good. But does she know how to develop deep relationships? She doesn't. They're all surface because she won't be honest with anybody besides me. And most of the time, the only time she's honest with me is when she's mad. And most of the time, when she gets mad because I tell her something that she doesn't like to hear. And when it's so, if you have an out of body experience, Jill, it's so fascinating to see. I can literally ask her 1 to 10, how'd you rate our marriage? And she'd be like a 9, a 10. 1 to 10, how'd you rate, me as a husband? 9, 10. I mean, it is rocks on. Any issues? Nope, no issues. Everything's fine. I mean, in 10 minutes later, I say, honey, I think with the kids, you're missing this or with this or this. And then all of a sudden she snaps, and I'm the worst husband in the world. Marriage is terrible. It's crazy how she can go. It's like Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. And so I think there's something, she blacks out. There's something, and she won't do it with anybody besides me. Like, will she cry with Angela? I don't know that she will. Will she go ahead and expose herself vulnerably to Angela on how hurt she is by Jonathan or Angela? Will she? It's just, from an out-of-body experience, it's the most fascinating thing as a husband, as a father, to see this and say, huh, that's pretty messed up. So the list, Rosanna, and your goals, and run it by Elaine and Jill and myself, and then I'd get it out to all of your kids and Angela. I'd go over and say, here's the goal. So what do you think the number one thing is? So you see me operate, Rosanna, and you don't learn anything. You're not studying me. I study you like crazy, like the kids. I study people like crazy. You're not studying. Number one thing when people come on the property is what?
Safety.
Physical safety. Yours and other people. It's always physical safety, because some people don't get out of the car. So, somebody dies because somebody's not paying attention. Somebody, that's end of game for that person. And so number one is physical safety. And so Angela's an adventuresome person. She likes risk. She likes that. So how do you make sure that you're both physically safe? Are you paying attention to, you're going into strangers, into other places? Are you watching for risks that might be for men primarily? Are you guys paying attention to that? So physical safety, what does that mean? Okay, number two, what's the second one?
I would say
go ahead.
It would be listening to the other person's fears.
See, I would say it's healing and deep connection. So the kids throw up on you. They swear at you. They go ahead and yell at you. They go ahead and they throw up at you. I don't know that that's healthy for you or for them or you. I mean, sometimes, I don't know. There's not a judgment, and I'm not even saying it's wrong. I'm just saying I don't know if it's healthy. They know they want you to respect their life choices and their perspectives, but they don't respect yours. That's not good. That's not going to work out well for them in life, because they're going to think everybody's like their mother. No, even their dad's not like their mother. Not going to put up with this stuff. So you go ahead and you get Jill's feedback, you get, Elaine's feedback, you get, I don't know, Ben's feedback, Melissa's, Ginger Ann. You want to make sure that you are doing everything possible to help to have everybody around you feel that their mom listened to them. Ben, you listened. You didn't explain why this and this and this. You just listened to him and you said, and then you put things in place. This is what I'm seeking of doing. Do you go ahead and do like when we went to Hawaii with Jason and Melissa, you and I? Do you go ahead and do, a Snapchat or do something of a video once a day? Do you do something to the whole family, once a day and say, this is what we did, and here's this and this? How do you go ahead? And have everybody part of the adventure? Here's the list of what I'm doing. So they like, my mom's thinking through this. My mom's listening to what I'm saying. My mom is strong. So you don't prove things. It's like you don't prove it. It's like you demonstrate it, you live it, and you don't just go ahead and leave it on this trip and you come back and then you're just the same Rosanna that you've always been. You come back and you are a different woman. Not because you say you're a different woman. You come back and you are a different woman, and it's because of you, and it's because of the impact your daughter had on you, and you will be forever grateful for her because she helped. She is a lot like Jill, and she is a lot like Elaine. She could help you stand up to the other kids, but you got to stand up for her or stand up to her. And I've told her and I've told you for years, she could help you a lot and you could help her a lot, but you guys don't. You guys hurt each other. Irritating. Make sense?
Yeah.
Anything else, ladies, either of you have?
Not for me.
All right.
Right.